Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Katie, of course, and today I am doing my ancestry video and I'm super excited to go through the results with you all. As you know from my previous videos, I don't have a relationship with my family. My mother and father are very much alive. The last time I spoke to my father was when I was like 17 or 16, and that was on the phone. Last time I actually saw him was probably when I was closer to the age of 10 or 11. So he's never been a big part of my life. And my mom, the last time I've spoken to her or seen her has been about 2 years. I don't have a great relationship with those in my family. The only people in my family that I really do have a relationship with are my siblings, my little sister, and my two little brothers. I have been on a spiritual journey, just trying to heal my inner child, heal myself. There's a lot going on mentally and spiritually. So I thought it would be nice to learn more about where I come from, so that way spiritually I can maybe root myself emotionally, maybe even feel more in touch with my culture, with my roots. Both my parents are Puerto Rican, and as far as I know and they know, everyone is just 100% Puerto Rican. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm like so nervous, but I'm pretty nervous. There is a lot of history in Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans are a mixed race of people. My grandfather also had some beliefs that one of our last names came from France, that we're actually like part French or something. And he did say, I believe, and this is my maternal grandfather, he used to say that his mother was Taína. So the Taíno were an indigenous people of the Caribbean, and I don't know, I was just curious to see whether those things were accurate, and like I said, just know more about myself, who I am, to hopefully learn more about who I am. You know, my ancestors fought for me to be here. So let's just go through this together. Let's see how correct my grandfather was. So this is very interesting. An overview of what I see, which is very big, is 61.3% European, which is very interesting to me. And a large portion of that Southern European. I didn't expect it to be so much European, but I see the largest percent is the 57.9% Spanish and Portuguese. But it's very interesting considering Spaniards, colonization. I mean, that tracks with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was colonized by the Spanish. I guess I'm surprised, but not really surprised, that it's like 57.9% Spanish and Portuguese. But I still feel like that's a really large percentage. Everything else is like super small. I don't even want to go into it. I see British and Irish 0.2%. Super tiny percentages. But that's very interesting. Like, I'm over half Spanish and Portuguese. 17% Sub-Saharan African. And I want to know what Sub-Saharan African is. So I see the largest percent in here is 11.5% West African. And I mean, that tracks that would be the next largest portion, because if you know about Puerto Rican history, with it being colonized by the Spanish, Puerto Rico literally translates to rich port. So there's a lot of history with the slave trade with enslaved people from Africa. So from my knowledge, like I said, I probably sound super ignorant, and I do want to educate myself, is from what I remember learning in school, is that with the slave trade, Puerto Rico was a stop in transporting slaves to America or other parts in the Caribbean and all that stuff. So it makes sense that I would have a large or medium percentage of my DNA be associated with Africa, sub-Saharan African specifically, and 11.5% West African, 4.4% Senegambian and Guinean, 3.7% Nigerian, Yoruba people. The next biggest one I see is the 5.3% Congolese and Southern East African, which is really cool. And then I see that the 14% Indigenous American, and I believe that's like the Americas, which America is very, the Americas is very large. I think, yeah, the yellow right here is what's considered the Americas. So I wonder if, yeah. So from what I'm assuming, from what I know from my family history and, you know, us, everybody being Puerto Rican, I would assume that 14% comes from Taínos. That's what I would assume, since my whole family has lived in Puerto Rico all of their life. And then last one is 5.4% Western Asian and North African. So the highest one I see is 3% North African, then 1.3% Arab, Egyptian. Yeah, these are like smaller percentages, and then super small, 0.5% broadly Central and South Asian. And you can see like at the bottom, like that my ancestry, my recent ancestry is all in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico. But yeah, I think that's really cool and interesting. Like, I definitely want to learn, like I said, learn more about myself, where I come from, my ancestors. Puerto Ricans are mixed. I just didn't expect, for being a mixed Puerto Rican, half of my DNA would be Spanish Portuguese. I feel like that's very, like a large chunk. So I think that kind of shocked me a little bit more, especially with my grandfather saying that his mother was like a Taína. I doubted it was true from the beginning, since Taíno culture has literally been wiped out. Just the way that my family made it sound, I would have more of Taíno within me. That is not the case. And not to sound messed up, but like I feel less Puerto Rican now. Like I feel more like a colonizer. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's conflicting feelings. Well, growing up, everyone's like, oh, we're mixed with everything. We're mixed with everything. We got this, we got that, we got this. But in reality, like, girl, chill. You probably mostly Spaniard. It made it sound like I was mixed with everything, but I'm not mixed with everything. But yeah, I'm very sorry. Like I said, if this sounded really ignorant, if I sounded really dumb, which it's not like I come up here and say that I'm the smartest person ever or whatever. But if y'all want to have a conversation with me down below and help me out to learn more about myself, be very greatly appreciated. And if you did an ancestry DNA test, you share your results with me. It'd be interesting. I feel very unprepared for this. I should have done more research, because I feel like too, with being Puerto Rican, there is such resentment towards the Spanish for the colonization of Puerto Rico, you know, and the relationship Puerto Rico has with the United States of America is already like super rocky as well. From when I was growing up, it was very like viewed negatively, you know, with the Spanish and, you know, the United States of America, because Puerto Ricans as a people feel like we cannot be who we are as a people. You know, as I said, Taínos, like their culture and stuff was like completely wiped out. And I think being a colonized island, like, I don't know, it's very hard to explain. I can only speak on my experience, and from my experience, Puerto Rican people very much want to be their own people and not be involved with the United States. I know that there are some pros and cons, and I'm not getting into all that. I'm just letting you know that seeing the results and seeing that it was mostly Spanish, I'm like, I don't know, I feel more like this is gonna sound so stupid, but like my own oppressor. If that makes sense. I mean, yeah, so now I'm kind of like, damn, no wonder I hate myself so much. Over 60% of myself oppress the other percentage of myself. I'm getting way too into it. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh my god. I'm processing this with you all, and I feel embarrassed right now. But yeah, I just think it's really interesting. And I'm gonna educate myself, learn more about the Spanish, why they wanted to conquer everything. I did grow up mostly in the United States, so I only know more about how the people in the United States colonized Native Americans, the indigenous people of North America. So that I know a lot more about than how and why the Spanish colonized Puerto Rico. So I think I want to learn more about that. I just think it's so funny because I'm like, damn, I'm a colonizer. Oh, stop it. I'm so sorry. And if you don't like me calling Spanish colonizers, you got your own issues, because I'm not going to argue with you about that. I love you guys so much. Thank you for bearing with me. I love and appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.